Rotor removal. After checking the gap and raising the rotor against the shoe, if the gap exceeds the specified measurement, begin rotor and shoe replacement. First, remove any mounted drive components, including the drive guard, chain, sprocket, and guard backing plate from the valve assembly. From a bare valve, remove the inspection pipe plugs. Bearing assemblies, and shaft packing seals from both end covers. Take out the bolts and washers sealing the adjustment set screws on each end cover near the bottom. Then, loosen the set screws by 3 full turns to lower the rotor assembly for easier removal. Start from the most accessible side of the valve, removing the nuts and double flat washers securing the end cover to the feeder housing. Both end covers can be removed for easier rotor access, but it's not required. Once unbolted, remove the end covers from housing. Ensure the loosened set screws are below the housing surface to avoid damaging the rotor during removal. With the end covers off, carefully take out the rotor and shaft assembly. If you are not replacing the shoe, proceed to the new rotor installation section. If the shoe is being replaced, continue to shoe removal process. Shoe removal. The shoe can be removed in 2 ways. From inside the housing after removing the rotor, or from above by taking out the entire top spool piece. To remove from inside the housing, ensure both end covers are off for better access. Remove the bolts and washers sealing the adjustment set screws on the sides near the top of the housing. Then, loosen the 4 set screws by 3 full turns. Block the discharge to prevent losing small parts while loosening the shoe, and support the shoe from underneath. Loosen the 4 acorn nuts on top of the valve housing approximately 2 turns. With the shoe supported from the inside, unscrew the acorn nuts and studs, then carefully lower the shoe until there's enough clearance to finish removing the clamp strips. Finally, detach the shoe from the feeder housing. To remove from above, loosen and remove the 8 nuts around the spool piece on top of the valve on the spool piece. Lift the entire spool piece with the attached shoe out of the valve. To detach the shoe, loosen the acorn nuts and studs on top of the spool piece. Then, remove the clamp strips to free the shoe. New shoe installation. Clean and inspect all parts and mating surfaces for wear. Depending on how you removed the shoe, begin reassembly by installing the new shoe, reversing the steps from the previous instructions. If the shoe was removed from the top housing, a new gasket is required between the inlet spool and housing during reassembly. New rotor installation. Clean and inspect all parts and mating surfaces for wear. Install the new rotor by reversing the rotor removal steps. Before installing the end cover, a new gasket will need to be installed. Reinstall the bearing assemblies and shaft packing for both end covers. Finally, adjust the rotor shoe clearance to ensure proper functioning. Refer to the shoe clearance video for instructions on setting the gap clearance. If you encounter any problems during the process, please refer to the standard manual for further guidance or contact Delta Ducon via phone, email, and website.